All right, race fans, here we go. We're live tonight here in Indy for the Clean Racing League, and pretty big track here. But it's going to be tricky here for these guys on the trucks. Qualifying coming to a close. Think we're going to see tonight here, Caleb?
Well, I ran some laps earlier on the track, and it was only like 2 or 3 laps, not as much as what these guys have been running for the past hour or past week or so. But something I realized pretty early on, the truck is very tight, but it also can be loose in certain areas as well. Especially when you get down to the curb where the grass is below the white line, the truck can kind of kick out. But it is a very momentum heavy track. So I think we're going to see a lot of, the last race I can think of here is the championship race a few seasons ago. I think you remember it with Joshua Altus and, Justin Carey and, how that unfolded. Abram ended up winning the championship. So, that's, hate to bring it up, sorry. But, he is on the front row. But, it's a very momentum heavy track, and one mistake can really ruin your night, especially if you get up into the wall. So I think starting early, especially with how many trucks we have been having here in the CRL Truck Series, I think it's best to play it safe in the beginning, and then as everyone starts to spread out, it's not difficult to pass here. It's really, really not. It's because of how wide it is, and how long the straights are. It's easy to get a run, especially in the trucks where the draft it really pulls you along. But yeah, I think patience is going to be key tonight, especially on this big track like Indy.
Absolutely, and like you're talking about Ghost out there, he, win tonight would really, been pretty good. Guy we've really been talking about a lot of, though, man, Kruger, which I am trying to look and do not see.
Yeah, the 44 truck, correct?
Oh. Not here tonight.
No, however, he does have to meet. He did end up getting a full charter from the 2 truck of Justin Duran. So he is locked in, but he still has to meet the minimum race requirements set by the league.
Which one race ain't gonna kill him. First race.
Well, I also don't know. I don't know if he came in later in the season, like 2, 3 races in.
Well, I'd have to do some research. But I do know he has teamed up with a Mike Kelly. We talked about Mike Kelly out there. He has to race himself in to make it to, and he did. He's sitting in 6th right now, along with Scott Simley. So they are all a team now. Kind of some newcomers coming in. We've talked about that in the past. We talked about it because of Lane. So who's going to step up to the plate? We've been able to talk about a lot of stuff. And a lot of things have really changed, and it's been an interesting season so far. It's going to be one. I mean, tonight you got, you got Altus up there up front, Ghost up there, who Ghost is looking for that win. Jamie Horn back. Now, Jamie, hey, not seen Jamie since the entire season. Maybe the first one, a part-time style season. Got Eric Anderson there with Matthew Dyer and Mike Kelly and Rob Sherwood, Ross Tatum, Evan Jacob Grant. That's all your top 10. But we got some pretty, most of the veterans here racing are on top.
Yeah, and if off the jump, off the green flag, Ghost is in the 22 is really going to have to, get out front and clear the 94, and it would be wise of the 94 to slot in behind him. You don't want to be on this outside for very long here. It's, you'll be in the marbles, get pushed up high. It's how you lose your momentum. Albeit, the dirty air is not your best friend here. It's best to be behind somebody, not beside him.
Absolutely. Green flag. Here we go. Pace trucks in. About to set to go. Green flag here at Indy tonight. Very good one here as the pace trucks off. Flagman throws the green. We're going to see who chucks it down into turn number 1. Are they going to stay side by side? Are they going to break off single files? Ghost takes it off into turn 1.
Yeah, and you seen the massive checkup in the back there, the stack up from all the trucks. Really don't know what happened back there. But Joshua Altus is going to try to take the lead from 22 of Abram here. It's just not really working. You seen him kind of get loose and kind of slide up, but he's right back at it again.
There he is on the inside there. Like you said, man, might get a little tight here. They're 3 wide back here behind them. Woo, that's around about their 12th place spot. They got that sorted out real quick before going into the turn because, you could probably go some 3 wide down the straights, back stretch, and so forth here, but going in these turns, I would not advise it to.
No, absolutely
There's
not.
a little loose. It's Kenny.
I'll say a truck shot down to the inside towards the pit wall. Definitely not the direction you want to see. Joshua Altus making a move on the 22 of Abram there going into turn 1.
Yeah, like you said, the momentum built up here. We'll see what he can be able to do on the bottom side. Momentum style track probably going to help out the Altus here a lot. Just up front, they're still duking it out. These new tires, they're able to kind of stay side by side for a while. Dyer's going to look back here and say, okay, figure out what these two guys are going to do. Now he's going to put on the tailgate of Altus, see if we can't push him along a little bit. Here comes Kelly right behind them. And you got Jamie Horn in the mix too.
Yeah, and the 95 of Dyer is him and the 94 of Josh Altus, they're teammates there at SUV, so he's going to instinctively go down and push his teammate ahead of the 22. But now they've single filed out, which is probably best because we're starting to kind of see the trucks kind of slide up towards the wall, as as the tires are starting to wear off. But hopefully these trucks aren't pushing it too hard. Especially with how these tires have been acting all season.
Yeah, this is a unique, like you said, unique style track to have to drive. Because the turns, there's a slight banking, but it's not so much. But these turns are not like style turns like a normal oval or whatnot. It's a rectangular style track. So you're like going into a turn, then a little straightaway, then another little turn. And so you do carry a little speed going to each style turn. And it's just kind of unique how you drive this track. Momentum will play a huge deal coming on the straightaway and backstretch, almost like what, to me, Pocono out of turn 3. You can really lose a lot of time coming out of that turn or gain a lot coming out of it, depending on how you go through it, because you got to keep that momentum up going down the straightaway or a guy's going to come shooting right by you. The 2 guys out front here, though, Caleb, I mean, a track like this can benefit them a lot. But we are used to seeing them be very conservative minded. Ghost and Altus, I think, really have kind of similar driving styles. They're not, overly aggressive. They're usually there at the end of the race to kind of sit back and try to take in what's going on and then go from there. But kind of attacking things right now.
Yeah, especially when you have a good qualifying like those 2 individuals did. When you put yourself up front, I mean, you gotta go. Generally, the past few weeks have kind of been qualifying 10th, 15th, kind of towards the back, mid-pack, and they've kind of had to work their way up. But today, both starting on the front row, smart there, backing off, don't want to push the issue there with the 20. But you don't. When you're up front, you're not going to willingly go back, So I think we can kind of see what they're doing from the start, not having to work their way up and so far they've been executing properly.
Absolutely. Just watching some of these battles roll on the back here. We got a good field. We talk about it week in and week out. 36 drivers out here tonight. A little battling going on here. It's around about 23rd, 24th position. You got Persley because everybody's kind of single file up in the front side. You got Persley right here with Murphy, Payne. You got Chapman right there in front of them. But, they're back here duking it out door to door. Again, we talk about this track being momentum. Another thing about this track is it's going to be hard to come through the field because it's such a really it's a hard place to pass, but it's such an even track. I always bring up the Auto Club effect, so to speak. Everybody's running about the same. I mean, you got to look. Altus ran a 53.9, and the last person out here all the way back to 33rd, ran a 54.5. I mean, that's what, half a second split in the field. That's not enough time. What that kind of tells me is there's nobody out here that's just going to go from 25th spot and zoom straight through the field. Like, you're going to need some time, going to need some help, and have to work on it.
Yeah, and you know, I hate, I don't remember who said it, but you know, there was a race car driver, and I hate, like I said, I don't remember who said it. All four corners of this track drive differently. You know, and so the way you drive turn 1 is different from the way you drive turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. They're all different. So, you know, that's also something you have to take into effect here. And, you know, just kind of remember what corner you're going into. Turn 2, going back to what you were saying about Pocono, the momentum and everything, turn 2 kind of reminds me of the tunnel turn at Pocono, which is how quick and how open.
As a matter of fact, one of those turns is named Indy Turn, the Pocono. Matter of fact, I think. Which one is it? Either 1 or 2. One of those two is actually turn 2 is the tunnel turn. So I think turn 1 is called the Indy Turn, if I'm not mistaken. I look it up, folks. I believe that one of those is based off an Indy Turn. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere. Give me one. I'll look it up while you talk.
I do not know that for certain. However, I do know at Le Mans, there is a corner called Indianapolis, which is just a regular old corner. But yeah, no, that's the only track I know that takes after Indy. You know, with the corner name. I didn't know anything about Pocono. Oh, we got a truck into the wall.
Yeah, okay.
79.
Here it is. Yeah, okay. So the tunnel turn, it is like Indianapolis or Speedway. Okay, so turn 2 is mapped just like. I knew one of them was, but I didn't know tunnel turn.
Is it turn 2?
What's that?
Is it like Indianapolis turn 2?
It says this is one of a kind. It says the turn 1. It says it's the corner modeled after another famous oval, turn 1. 4 degrees of banking. Was inspired by the now dysfunction Trenton Speedway, turn 2, also known as the tunnel turn, is like in 9 degrees of banking, and the turn 3, 6 degrees of banking, bars from the L2. Evidently, it takes some cues from this track on that one, but I've heard that in the past. I just wasn't 100% clarify for people. Okay, great. But I knew I'd heard that Pocono, because turn 1 is modeled after something, and I think Pocono's just a good track. Also.
Well, all 3 corners of that track are completely different. You got the high banks of turn 1, the pretty much, you know, the fast sweeping left-hander of turn 2, and then you have the wide corner of turn 3, and that's why it's called the tricky triangle. But you know, enough of that. You know, we're here in Indianapolis, and our leaders are separated by 0.3 of a second, and you know, he hasn't been able to break away, Joe.
No, and I don't think he will. I think Ghost will stay there. I think, like I said, the momentum will keep him. You usually stay within it. The problem, a lot of guys, I guess the rumbling, so to speak, about this track is it's very difficult to pass. And don't see a lot of passing. Sure, you might see, like in the back here, like where Lane is right now, you might see guys, you know, one-off pass. Like I said, our top, all the way to our top 10, all single file right now. Yeah, actually, matter of fact, the Lane is the one back here going passing around 11th place spot. So that's the major grumbling I've ever heard about the track. It's so tough to pass once you get in that groove and start going. And then that brings up the point of what you talked about earlier there, Caleb. Being out front is where you really want to be. Can you come through the field? You know, can you get up there? I think that number 19, Casey Grant truck. Important here, Tim. I don't know if I've got mine. I don't have my side view. Any brand something. I might do that.
Yeah, so that is a new paint scheme he made for this race tonight. That was a request from his girlfriend, who I believe is watching. So
Okay, right.
he made a mini Brands truck, which I had no
So
idea what
what
it
is
was.
mini brand? I gotta ask if his girlfriend's. Hopefully his girlfriend's out there watching now. Does she support and watch? Now come on, because this is the first I've ever heard he's got a girlfriend. I mean, you
So
just broke the bank right here now, Caleb. You just
No.
opened it up. Oh,
yeah,
I
no,
love the
she
family
watches.
members. I love the family members.
Yeah, she watches. But the mini Brands, it's like a it's like mini.
The
It's just
cookies is a cereal. I mean, come on, what is it?
no, it's not edible. It's like it's just mini stuff like tables, refrigerator. Like it's just mini stuff, just mini
Yeah,
brand stuff.
hold
You
on,
should
hold on.
just I would say just look it up. You know,
Yeah,
you'll
I'm gonna
see
have to
they
look that
come
one
in.
up because now I'm confused when you said like mini refrigerator brands and.
No. It's just like they come in like these little mystery. You ever go to the grocery store and then you have like these little mini mystery balls and you buy it. They're like, I don't know, $4 or $5, and then you just get like this random
I've
thing
never
out of
bought
it.
a refrigerator in a little mini ball.
No. I mean, it's not functional. It's not. I mean, I wish, but it's not functional. It's not. They're just
Oh Lord.
they're just they're these little things. Um, but
Hey, I'll have to check it out. I've never heard of it. That's why I was like,
from
it's a cool
one
paint job. I
spot.
gotta give him that. Cool paint.
Oh yeah, no, I would say it looks amazing. He always does well with his paint schemes at Grant Designs and all
You know what it
that.
reminds me of?
Uh,
The Nerds.
what?
Remember Nerds candy?
Oh yeah, the Sonic Nerd slushies.
Yeah.
You ever had those? Oh man, I feel like we have gone way off.
Yeah, well, I know. Hey, but you know what? We're talking about paint, so hey, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, hey, look, folks,
From
into the race. We talk about the race. We talk about the teams. We talk about the cars. We talk about the action. Scott Simley, guy right here. He's working over Mike Haynes right now. That's in a spot. Another guy. It's a newcomer to the league. I've known Simley for a while now because I've done other leagues he was in, but so I'm familiarized with the name. But he is new here to the Clean Racing League. Just came in here about a couple of days ago. We talk about, you have to have charters or the charter teams that are here, which are guaranteed a spot week in and week out, but there are a few spots that you can race your way in. Well, Scott Simley's one of them has to race. Mike Kelly's another one has to race his way in, and matter of fact, you can already see him. He's up in the second place spot right now. So those are the two right off the top of my head. Not quite sure of the other ones out here. Maybe Caleb can look real find them, but I knew those two are the two right now to have to race their way in week and week out to get here. Hopefully, maybe next season everything works out. They'll be able to get the starter, and because now they've got the teammate. Talk about Michael Kruger, who missing the race here tonight, who has dominated the last couple of weeks, and finally punched his ticket there and won and whatnot. So interesting to see, but he does have a charter. Yeah. It's all Altus right now out front. You got Dyer sitting in second. Ghost falling back, which is not unorthodox for Ghost. Seen him do this a couple times, fall back and kind of just relax a little bit and then go forward. And then you got Sherwood back here. Now, pitch strategies. We got to talk about pitch strategy because Sherwood always has the most unusual pitch strategy out here.
My assumption would be if they can make it to 25, they will go to 25 and they'll break it up into two pit stops. They'll pit 25, 50, go to the end. Of course, this is not this is not counting cautions. This is talking if the race goes green, they'll split it up then. I don't know the fuel numbers. I wish I did. But that's just where if they can get to 25. They are saving more fuel riding behind somebody because they can't go as hard into the corner. They can't push as hard because the way the dirty air affects the truck and everything. Altus has been out front, so he's burning way more fuel, but he also has that clean air so he's not burning the tires up as much. And he's kind of pulled away. Abram in the 22 is kind of falling back a little bit.
1.2 seconds. Well, it's 7/10 up. Over might kill us.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see who makes the first move. When I was racing a lot, I always
sure
wanted to
would. Well, actually, Clark has been the first one on pit road. I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe Sherwood. This is just wild stuff when it comes to pit road.
Yeah, it's we've been talking about this, every week and everything, but the drivers that have already won, the drivers that are already locked into the playoffs, they truck really sideways. I think it was Hostler off the corner there, sideways. Didn't hit anything, but these drivers that have already won, and they don't have anything to lose, so they're just looking for another win. If they that truck is wiggling, I think he might have burned them up.
He could have. I mean, he's come up 4 spots already, which takes me back to what I was talking about earlier. Not seeing anybody just come flying through the field, but it doesn't take much. We do have some guys coming on pit road back in the back here. You got Haynes, Bell, Masery, and Massey, Bersley, and Chapman all coming on pit road. Oh, yellow flag.
No.
That is actually Chapman. The world, the cow truck.
I
coming on pit road, but what I'm doing, Vodka just didn't get woed down and watching right now. He's by himself, but that'd be a self spin. Hit the wall and then locks it up. Locks it up.
Yeah. So
ouch.
So I think that was a reactionary move to what he was seeing in front of him with everyone pitting. Generally when
really?
You're pitting, huh? Wow.
Reactionary move from the.
Oh no! I mean, I'm just saying about the 20.
I mean, there was nobody around him. He hit the wall.
Oh no! I'm not saying he was reacting to the cars in front. No. He definitely hit the wall. What I'm saying is,
he just got a little tight coming out of there right there, and then he just locked it up.
He'd hit the wall, and what I'm saying about reactionary, I mean, he's got 4 trucks in front of him that are pitting. He hits the wall. Okay, I've hit the wall. I'm going to try to make pit road and try to come out with these guys. He tries to make the commitment cone, realizes he's going too fast for the commitment cone, slams the brakes, locks the rears, noses the inside wall, and bounces back into the racetrack. I'm not saying reactionary moves because there was anyone around him. It was more of he sees cars on pit road, he's going down pit road. But all in all, very late move on the 20's part. It happens.
That wall had more to do with it.
Oh yeah.
That kind of threw his momentum off a little bit.
Yeah, smart move.
But we do have pit stops now. So I guess it takes that conversation we were talking about earlier out. Who's going to pit first? But now does this fall in the line of, maybe does this mess up your pit strategy any?
Let's see. Is lap 21 right now?
Yes.
I do not think so. If you can push it to lap 45, 50, as long as you can get 30 laps on a fuel run, which I don't know if they can. I feel like they're going to be good. I still feel like that is a lot for this track. I do feel like we still might see some 2 stops. Sometimes fuel numbers come in wrong. Sometimes, people like myself, I can't, for some reason, calculate fuel while I'm driving. which is why the telemetry in my later years of sim racing is amazing. Uh, so, we might see some mistakes happen. I think this was a very untimely caution. If they wanted one, it would have to be after the pit stop.
Yeah.
Not, but like I said, I don't know the numbers. Um, but while we're under caution, let's go ahead and shout out our sponsors for the league, because we might not get another chance there in the race. So go ahead and starting off with where's Abram at? Let's go ahead and do the big one. Sports Academy, Youth Flag Football and Foundation, title sponsor of the league. Um, you know, been here, this is their second season. Um, you know, just check them out on sportsacademy.us. Check out their Youth Flag Football section on the website. But yeah, the things we've been able to do with thanks to our title sponsors like Sports Academy, Uniformity.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Ryan Lewis in the last couple of weeks. That's the other truck I would show off actually out there with the Uniformity on there. But I don't know if maybe you've got any updates on Ryan or anything. But we definitely haven't seen it last couple.
Yeah,
I mean, he could have some commitments in life,
Yeah, and I know I know a bunch of drivers in this league do stuff with they coach football, they do other things, and this is virtual race cars, people. Real life does come first, but which is why the fields vary from week to week in this series.
But ask you real quick here, Green. Top 4 trucks pitted in lap 18. I don't think it's going to be a major difference. Top 4 pitted in lap 18. Reluctant to stay out as Altus pitted on this lap here, lap 20. That might be a little disadvantage. I don't think it will. It all depends on how long this green flag run goes, but I think track position might be maybe a little bit key here. A little early to say, but I'm kind of seeing it, but I don't know.
It is not an issue. The caution came out. They had already crossed the commitment cone when the caution had come out. Their tires are no different than Josh Wallace's, Matt Dyer. Their tires are no different. They did not push at all, because by the time they had the tires on, the caution was out. So they've been pacing. So unless they make a mistake, I think this is really going to shake up the field.
Race trucks in. Here we go. Get set to go back green. You got Mike Haynes, Bell, Macy, and Persley, man, up front, top 4, who got that pit advantage on them, and they have made some big waves. You see the green flag flies. Haynes takes off. You see Bell and company back there with Persley along with him. We'll see what Altus is able to do. Remember, he was out front. A little different when you have to come through the field. Now he gets to see what his truck will do through maybe some traffic here, dirty air, and see if he actually can, capitalize maybe later on if he gets stuck in this position. Hey, can I come back to the front? Can I get back out there and lead this thing? Now, do I have that kind of, truck? Do I have the kind of setup under me to be able to get it done? As they jockey around in the back, you can see, man, right now, Altus up in the 4th, but Haynes out front. Got Persley right behind him. Kelly's there along with him with Dyer. Everybody just fans out the single file.
Yeah, and that's really all you can do. Just single file out and start picking people off one by one. You see Altus trying to make a very aggressive move to the inside there, mid corner. I know what he's thinking now. He's thinking the lead was taken away from him, which it was.
Don't panic. Don't panic at this.
Yeah, no, you can't. But also, he can be more aggressive. He's already won this season. He's already locked in. He's just trying to win more races. That's why he's here. He wants to win. He's a 2-time champion in the series, looking for his 3rd. Mentally, yes, the lead was taken from you, but you can't be overly aggressive, because then you're going to go from what could have been a top 3, maybe a win, to in the infield.
And again, we're seeing right here, kind of just a product of this track, how tough it is to pass. And now he's trying to test that water zone. Okay, can I get back up front? Can I get there, in the back? I know it's tough to pass. Don't want to get stuck out here too far back and, just kind of sit. And you can see just right there, I mean, Crank Bell able to give him all he can handle as they look pretty dead even coming out of the track. But now they get a little side-by-side. We love it. Some rubbing, some racing out here. You got the Altus and Bell. Nothing wrong with it door-to-door, because Altus is going to take that spot away from Bell. You got Persley right behind him. You got Kelly and them. They're going to battle it out. Then Dyer's along with those guys in the mix with Jamie Horn in the mix there too. Collins. So, good run so far up front.
Yeah, and what, Altus passes Massey there for second. An old Crank with a late move going into turn 3.
Ooh,
or turn 3, sorry. But yeah, just what we're seeing Altus do, with these trucks 3 wide on the front stretch.
That on the straightaway, not on the turn. Woo!
Yeah, okay. Hopefully they get this all sorted out. He thinks better of it. But you're seeing a bunch of side drafting, and I think Altus did it perfectly. On Crank Bell going into turn 1, he had moved up to his quarter, and then that slowed him down enough to get side by side with him, which ultimately let him get clear of him for third, and then he ended up passing the 1 of Massey as well.
Good race right now, still door to door, sticking it out. We're watching around 4th place spots. You got Bell, Kelly, Persley, Dyer right here. Yeah, they're knocking it out the ballpark here with the side-by-side racing. You brought up the thing about the side draft. It works very well, and it will work very well at a track like this. Still neck and neck here. That's actually Bell along with Macy right there with them. Kelly right behind them. And you got Dyer. Everybody's going to fan out and get all the advantage they can coming down the front stretch here, which is kind of very, very long. And then you want to try to kind of get back in line as you head off into turn 1. You don't want to get stuck out there 3 wide. We talked about it. Maybe the last lap we might see some 3 wide. And now way too early. As you see Bell and those guys still at each other, man, side by side. As looks like Altus is trying to close in on the leader, but those two are still signing single file. We're watching this awesome battle going on around 3rd.
Yeah, and you see the 95 of Dyer coming down to the bottom here of the 2 truck. The 14 and the 1 who benefited from the caution coming out, they pitted lap 18. They got out front. I'm not saying they're holding up all these cars that behind that were up front, but they were pretty much leading the pack 2 by 2, and they're still out there. And you're starting to see a stack up. Like look at the shot coming off the corner, and just look at all the red banners. I mean, there's so many trucks clustered under a blanket here.
It is, man. One little false move up front here, and these guys, man, can send it into a big one.
Yeah, and they're starting to single file out here. Just you're seeing Crank Bell, who ended up winning Daytona and the Dash at the beginning of the season. So he's already locked into the playoffs. So I mean, really no worries from him. Massey, who is, I think this is his first race with us as a rookie, unchartered. So he's new. He's trying to learn the drivers around him, how to race and lead. I've raced with Keenan before in multiple other leagues. Did some endurance racing with him. He knows what he's doing, or he wouldn't be up there otherwise.
Looking really good right now. He's sitting in that 4th place spot. You can see him go door to door, squeezing down on the bottom. He's got him and Kelly looking good with my Dyer right behind them. Collins and company. So it's still a 2x2 race, and the front guys are out there kind of single file. You see Ross Tatum right there. Like I say, he's already locked himself in to the playoffs this year. He's back there in the 8th place spot. He's going to go door to door along with the man on the outside of him. Jamie Horn's behind him. So still good racing, and you see it right there. It looks like Jamie said, you know what, I'm going to just fall on behind. Smart move, get back there, kind of relax a little bit. I don't want to ride side by side forever here. Still door to door in front of him.
No, and especially on a track like Indy, with it, it's flatter than most tracks. And you got a car on pit road. Is that Rob Sherwood on pit road?
Yep, sure
that is,
yeah.
So
Not sure why.
I think.
Oh, got another one spinning. Bradley Murphy.
Oh, what are you
Wait.
doing?
Get on track like that, but it moved. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to tow?
Did the caution come out?
Oh yeah, caution's out. Let's see what happened on the replay. He's right there in that green truck, folks. I just happened to see the smoke fly down at the bottom, so I'm not quite sure what happened. See Sherwood going pit road. Really sure that had anything to do with it. I don't know if maybe him and Anderson might have got together, door to door with the 16. Oh, they just got contact with 16. Oh, he went flying up in the sky. Boom!
Oh, maybe he couldn't have moved it because, I mean, the underside absolutely smacked the safety barrier, so maybe he lost the engine. I mean, that's a possibility, Joe.
Ouch.
Yeah, and but you know who's going to gain the most out of this?
Haynes.
No, Sherwood. Everyone's going to pit for tires. Sherwood just came in, and if Sherwood took a full
Sherwood didn't pit tires
stop,
on. Oh, he didn't put tires on. Oh, 6-second stop it said. I think he might have panicked and came out of pit road thinking he was going to go lap down.
No.
Did not pit for tires.
That would have worked. That he would have been.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a
place.
second. Wait up. Go back. I think he pitted twice. Hang on a minute. He entered pit road. Yeah, Sherwood has pitted twice, so that's actually his second stop after the caution came out. This is before the caution. We're going to watch his pit stop before. This is right before, so he might have took 4 tires. Came back in. Either way, he came back in after that pit stop because it goes. Came back in. Yeah,
I wonder if he
right now. This is before the caution right here. You can see it. So he's on pit road. He's committed. He shouldn't go a lap down even if the caution came out.
Because the caution comes out right about now.
No, he's not past the start-finish line. Now, I don't know how that rule holds it in iRacing as opposed to real racing. Because if I understand in real racing, you got to cross that start, whether you're on pit road or not. So I don't know how that is. But either way, he comes on pit road here. Watching this. Takes no tires. Okay. So let me go. Caution's out. There's a pace truck. He takes no tires. Okay. So here is. It might just be my timing that is just. This is the same pit stop.
Okay.
Might show different timing. So either way, he did not take tires.
Yeah, then yeah, I
yeah, this is the same pit stop. My bad. So he didn't take tires on his pit stop, even though like what you said, it did benefit him. He's up in the 4th right now. But now here's the thing too. Hold on a minute. Now I'm gonna say it still might benefit him here, Caleb, because from 3rd all the way to 11th or 12th, none of them took tires on their pit stop. They all got 6-7 second stops. The only 2 are the 2 up front who pitted a lap. Well, they pitted lap 18 and 20, so they're still on older tires. They didn't come in. So really, from 10th, hang on, man, I'm trying to get the. From 13th, Mike Haynes is the first one who has 4 tires. Pitted at lap 31. Everyone in front of him is still on the older set of tires. They came in for fuel. They're on the older set of tires.
I wonder if on those pit stops they took right sides. Because when you take two right sides, or even left sides, you pop up the truck. As soon as the tires go on, they send it. I don't know.
Well, in a 6-second stop, that's a little. I'd usually say with around 10, 11 seconds. I mean, we saw Sherwood. Obviously, he took none, and he had a 6.63. Most everybody else around him has like a 7 flat or 6 or 6.9. So they're right around the same time Sherwood had. I'm gonna still stick with the no tires. But again, remember we just had the pit stop. It's only been 10 laps. I don't know. I from what we saw in that last restart, yes, it wasn't, and that was only what 2-lap different tires. I don't know. I think I would have took tires. I think I would have took tires.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least two. At least two. I mean, at least two.
And that's what I thought some of these drivers were going to do. The thing I'm looking at now is you have a excuse me, sorry. You have a bunch of these drivers now, like you said, old tires.
Got about 12 of them out.
This is
I think recipe for disaster. But yeah, here we go. Hold, cross your fingers, folks. It's going to be wild up front. We're going to see what happens. Personally, Company's going to bring the field to them. You got Joe Spinelli right up there on the front side of them. You can already see him in there dicing around. You see Joe just did not get going. Oh, that actually must be Jamie in the back there. You see Altus, who is flying up through the field to himself. Remember, he's one of the ones who didn't take tires either. But yeah, you can already see old tires, new tires. Man, it's going to get dicey.
Yeah, and as soon as you've seen the 00 sideways on his launch in the box, and then the 15 just didn't go at all. This is the product of restarting on these old tires. And this is wide. This is going to.
Well, I'll tell you, wow.
Well, there's still 3, Joe. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, we're.
Oh, look, I mean, it's exciting for us to watch, but man, this hair raising, man, for guys back here.
Yeah, and they were 4 wide there for a second. But yeah, the product of racing on these old tires, it's just it's a different set, especially when you restart on them, and then off the jump you can tell the truck is not there. It's not planted as what you were just used to. That's kind of what gets some of the, you got Joe Spinelli really slow off the corner.
Mike Haynes, he's the first one with a newer set or 4 set of tires on the newer set. He's up to 6 already. You see Spinelli falling back right there along with Dyer. He's the other one who was on a newer set with Colin. As they're trying to, a little contact there, man. A good save by Dyer. Almost again getting into it as they're 3 wide. All right, that's a wake-up call.
Yeah, and it just kind of looked like he got pinched going into the corner, but great save by Dyer. Hopefully, I'm going to go and tell you right now, they're both irritated at each other right now. It's just how that's going to be. Hopefully, they keep level head when they sideways again.
Old tires right there.
Yeah, and
that's Trask. Well, actually, he's on new tires, so I don't know. Old man, look behind him. Man, right. Good night. I'm gonna tell you what, it's getting crazy out here.
Yeah, it's the speed difference from when the old tires meets the new tires, and then now you just have a cluster. You just have a cluster of.
You just don't have enough room on this track. This is a narrow track. We haven't really said much about that, but this is not a wide track. Yeah, you see them 3 wide, but it's a narrow style track.
Yes, and for everyone watching, it looks wide, and then once you start racing it, you realize how close those walls are to you. And yeah, they're going 3, 4 wide, and you see it for split seconds, but there's a reason why they're staying single file for as long as they are. It is a track not built for that. It is not a Daytona. It is not a Talladega. It is not Atlanta. It is.
What we saw last week.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
That's the big one.
I looked down for a second and looked up, and smoke everywhere.
Yeah. Woo. Back and see if we can dissect what happened on this one. We'll start with unfortunately Dusty Martin. I know some other ones involved in it. Happened back here in the back. Those 3 wide. They were 2 wide right there with Dusty. Not quite sure if it happened with him or if it happened in front of him, but we're gonna kind of what happened here. Oh, it happened in front of me. So one machine. That's massive. Oh man, we caught it back here in the back. He was one of the ones who did not get tires either, so fell off the pace.
You know, he's got Grant Trask around him.
If it maybe was him or if it's just again, he just bought at the wrong place, wrong time. So he ended up on his back end. Pace is moving and just got loose and got in the massive.
Yeah,
21, it kind of looks like 21 just got loose. That's Justin Carey. Oh man, if it is, that's a real, what's the word I'm looking for? A mistake you just don't see him make.
It's a very rare mistake.
Yeah, rare mistake. Now he is on older tires. One of the ones who stayed out. So that right there, I mean, trying to control that truck. But let's watch it one more time, just to kind of get a feel on. Yeah, oh, got sideways right there a little bit. And then he just thought maybe he was clear, came up.
It also had looked like the truck was coming down as well. It kind of just looked like they met in the middle. They were both trying to avoid the one, and they had come together. You know, just but to reiterate what I was saying earlier in the race, it's a very momentum-heavy track, and you know, you've seen how slow the one, and you know, no, I'm not taking a shot at Keenan here. Just how slow the one was coming off turn 2, and you know, it could have been anyone. In this case, it was the one truck. You've seen how slow he was, and you've seen how fast.
Right there, just how loose.
Oh yeah, but just look at how much speed he. But just look at how much
he's losing it right there. He's losing it right there.
Yeah, and you know, big shot from the 35 there. But you know, and it may not look like there was that much of a speed difference, you know, to the people watching on the broadcast. But when you were behind the driver's wheel or the steering wheel, and you were, you know, going what these drivers are going, I think it's like 160, 165, and the driver in front's going 155. You know, that 10 miles an hour, it's there. You see it.
Let me just say this: what did we ultimately learn from that whole exchange? Old time might not be the play.
No.
You brought it up. You said it yourself. You were uncertain about it. I mean, now, the only person I can say that has benefited from it is Persley and Tatum, who are still sitting up front. But they were able to get away from the field and do that. I mean, you see Mike Haynes right there with the first one with those newer set of tires, who was sitting in third. But when you're barred back there in traffic like that, you know, Caleb, you know and I know, it just, on the older set of tires, it's hard to handle.
Yeah, and I don't see Altus anywhere. Did he pit?
Altus, he is back here in 22nd. He did pit, and he did put on 4 tires, because remember, he was one of the ones who didn't put tires on that last time.
Now,
he did put tires on. So he just came on pit road, and he did put his 4 tires.
Now, this is where we're really going to see.
we're really, the field.
Yeah, because he's got that one. He's going to have the new tires. He's going to have the grip. The track seems like it's pretty hot right now. With just, you know, how the cars or the trucks have been slipping, sliding.
Real quick, don't mean to interrupt you there, but you know, you mentioned something earlier at the beginning of the race. You said the track really tight when. What I'm seeing though is these rear ends looking kind of loose. Maybe it's tight pushing going in, but loose. Well.
Yeah. So when I was turning a few laps in practice earlier, probably an hour before the race started, uh, going into the corner, and I'd raced this track plenty of times before, so I kind of knew where to put the truck. And going in, you, you would kind of flip the throttle and kind of let the truck set, but you could kind of feel it start to lift. Do you know what I mean? Like lift up and kind of slide a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, you kind of feel the front go as well. It's more tight and loose, but coming
Yeah,
off.
and the only way to combat that is obviously back the truck. I just noticed that they're a little wiggly at the rear. We just saw right there. Could have been a lot of product of the. Watch to see how well they mask it out too, like you said, hot track here with it. But pace lights are off on the truck going back. Let's see if Pursley can get the jump back up front. It's been that way all race long. If you had that lead, you get that advantage up there. Let's see if Tatum can hold with him, or it's going to be Mike Haynes with the newer tires be able to get the jump on these guys. You got Sherwood there with them. Kelly and company, that's your top five. Pace trucks in. Green flag. We're racing back here at Indy here for the Clean Racing League here tonight. And you see Haynes is going to get that good clean start along with Pursley, so that might be a doomsday if he can get up on the back door of him. Meanwhile, they're going to go side by side back here. Kelly, Sherwood, Collins and company still single file up front. You already see there Mike Dyer making some moves to the inside.
Yeah, and I can go ahead and tell you right now, the restart by the 00 of Pursley, much better than his last restart.
Yes.
You kind of see that last time he was a little bit,
He's getting on the outside lane. He says, if you're going to pass me, you're doing it on the outside instead of inside. If that wasn't for him having newer tires, I don't think that pass would work.
No, and you have to be careful. Yes, the inside lane is the primary lane. That is the preferred lane for every driver on this racetrack. That is the lane for this racetrack. No matter what car you drive, he's got to be careful because he's got all these new tires around him. But as the truck starts getting looser, and sometimes it gets tight depending on what air you're in, dirty air. Sometimes you catch something, from another truck. He's got to be careful not to slide up into somebody. We've seen it happen multiple times at different tracks. It could happen here.
Absolutely. The only other two guys up here right now doing quite well, you got Tatum and Kelly. They are sitting on the older set of tires. They pitted back on lap 31. They didn't take the tires either, too, so they're on an older set. You see right now, you see Collins, who is on a newer set of style tires, he pitted on lap 31 and 4. He's going to see if he can't make it around Kelly there for the third place spot and see if he can't get up here and maybe tackle Tatum and do anything with Haynes, who is walking away from this pack back here. While you talk about it, around about 8th place spot, you got Pursley, who is falling back just a little bit. You got Trask right there, Ghost. Let's just give you a quick update on Altus. Remember early on I was talking about it. This track, watching somebody just come through the field like gangbusters, new tires, old tires, I don't think we're going to see it. Yes, he's going to be able to get a lot of these guys. He's going to knock a lot of them off. But you see right here, this is the problem. He's got to be patient. And Blinken don't help either, but he's got to be patient. And if not, he can get himself into trouble, which... Here's a double-edged sword here, kind of, Caleb. Even if he was the wreck, I know he don't want to. And I kind of move right there. I don't want to stay too long, stay too soon on that one. But even if he was the wreck, okay, lesson learned. Go next week. I know we don't want to. We'd rather come out here with a great finish or win. But we go back to that. Look, I don't have anything really to lose right now. I'm in the playoffs. I mean, following what I'm saying. So at this point, he could be a little aggressive.
Yeah, he can be aggressive, but he's there's a certain.
He don't want to lose. No. Ultimately.
Oh yeah, no one wants to lose. But he's put himself in this position. Now he's got to try to get his way back up and wow, all the way to the spot there, going in turn 3. What is he going to do?
Yes, no, and there's the aggressiveness now. Bumping the floor out the way of Paul Turner. And Turner might say, okay, you might want to run. I'll remember that.
Yeah, and in the mind of a driver, oh wow, he's in the wall now.
Yeah, it needs a ball. It might have hurt a little bit on the tire. They've been having a little bit more, or Turner having a little more trouble than he needed here. As you see in the front, got Simley right there with the Gardner. They're side by side. Altus, I mean, and even Altus in the back right now. There's no need to panic. You know, I know you probably get in that panic mode and you start overdriving. You're messing your tires up, messing your truck up, and get yourself in trouble. But it's still early. No need to panic. I mean, we're only, lap 45 here, 75. We're on about 35 to go, 30 to go. You take 30 from math. Awful. Give or take somewhere in that area. I mean, he's still got time.
Yeah, and I do believe he's gonna have to make another pit stop. Right now, you know, he's going to have to go, and you know, it's just he's catching these trucks at the wrong time. You know, this few laps ago, Spinelli, he goes Spinelli out of turn 2, right at Spinelli lost the momentum. You know, that time he caught Paul Turner going into the corner. You know, he kind of got pinched a little bit. You know, so he's just catching these trucks at the wrong time. You know, wrong place, wrong time. Right now, he's that guy. So, you know, going back to,
yeah, I was gonna say a guy did actually pretty good this past week in another league. I was doing it, Eric Anderson here, but tonight is not the night he wants. He's down 20 positions. He's back at 26. Pit stops haven't fell his way. Back here, not a little bit off the pace here tonight, but there's the man right there, Chris Smith, back there with Fred Garcia. We talked about Chris, man, taking over the horns here, man, the Clean Racing League here, and doing an absolute outstanding job running this thing week in and week out, and it's you know, grown to what it is, and we enjoy it there. We talk about it week in and week out, so outstanding job on that end of what he's doing. But still out front, battle for the lead. Haynes has been on the run down Collins here, and he's going to see if he can't take that spot away from him. They're going to go door to door. This is the battle for that lead. And you got Collins, Grant's kind of moving in there too with the little mini brands machine.
yeah, you know, these two have to be very, very careful, because the more they stay like this, not only are you burning your tires up, you're allowing every car behind you to catch you. You know, as you know, Collins gets by the 24 Hayes there. But you know, that's just allowed Grant to kind of ease his way up.
Yeah, girlfriend should be jumping him down over that one now. That's good. That one.
It's like those impulse purchases, like, you know, when you're at the checkout, or you know, it's like one of those.
Okay, they sell them at Dollar General. If you have a Dollar General, and if you live under a rock, I know where I'm at. Dollar General kind of sprouts up at every freaking. I'm looking at it right now. It's a ball, and it's called Zuru 5 Surprise Mini Brands. So it's a little ball, and it has the same logo he has on that final. They sell them at Dollar General, so if you have a Dollar General in your neighborhood, maybe 4 or 5, check it out. So I'm sorry, normally I wouldn't do that. I had to check.
Yeah, you see what I mean now? Like the mini is just mini brands. It's literally in the name. I didn't know what it was.
It comes with 9 accessories to collect. There's 9 miniature topping accessories to collect. Baskets, cart shells, paper bags. Okay, I'll read some more up on it. I want to out there in the thing. It's just, I've never heard of it. That's kind of why. And I'm a big advocate. I know everybody's going to, ain't nothing to do with the race. Yeah, it does. It's on his truck. It's a sponsor. I love talking about sponsors because that's one of the biggest things that I have seen, Caleb. And I know you're kind of new to the broadcast, and I appreciate you coming up here. Good thing. But doing this over the years, that is one thing that I have seen really, really explode in the sim racing era is sponsors. Whether it be league broadcast, whether it be on the trucks, etc. We talk about the multitude of sponsors that these guys run on the trucks, like Altus running his actually, the company he works for, right there with the mini brands thing that we're talking about. There's several of them out here too. And we could talk about it pretty much all race long, but just sponsors alone if we had to. But obviously some great racing on the track. But it has come a long way, and I love bringing that fact up. I love bringing it up because that is what has fueled the fire of sim racing over the years, and the explosion here is Altus is up to 13th spot, so he is making some waves throughout the field. Let's go, Justin, KV Racing.
Judson.
Oh, Justin Court is up 10 spot now. Is that a new guy?
Curtis, right?
Curtis. Okay.
Yeah, he's a charter.
Okay. Maybe I've not really said his first name often. I've always just said Curtis.
And going back to the whole sponsor thing, I'm seeing this new, I know what McConey is, like a setup shop. I'm seeing it on the 91 Taylor. And, generally he would run the Coca-Cola truck. But, I wonder if he has a, McConey setup shop sponsor, because, we've seen it the past few weeks. And, if so, that's really, really cool. But, going back to, like, the sponsors and what's on the truck, it's also a way to, I guess, show your personality. Like, there for the longest time, I've run a car, or a truck. And,
I ran a Traxxas truck. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it just, when you do this, and, if you don't have a sponsor, run what you want, as long as it's not, inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
Go as you can, do whatever you want. I guess let's go to the Only Dads team. Do what they do.
Quick before I do that, I'm going to talk about McConey's setup shop to see I'll see him come in. I remember because I actually had McConey, me and him broadcasted a series for a year before he even started his setup. I remember when he LLC and he told me about it. And I have seen him come a long way to get, sponsored by iRacing and all. So that's what I'm talking about as far as like how sponsors have really blown up and so forth. But you talk about the Only Dads. You go back here. The camel towing truck, man. So Nathan Brown, yes, it's a reference to Camel cigarette car back in the day. Look, I'll say it and then I'm subject along. To me, they should be able to be allowed to have cigarette cars if you're going to have alcohol. There's no difference between the two. One's bad deal. But anyways, that's the difference. So get on to that. So, but camel towing. I gotta ask you, Caleb. What does it mean? Is that actually a real company, or is that just something that Nathan Brown comes out of his wild imagination?
I guess it's the imagination.
Okay. I've seen him in some wild cars. That's why I asked. I know it's his Little Debbie car, but it's called Little something else. It was fun.
It's probably best that you forgot.
Knowing him, it was wild. It was wild.
It's just the names of the races for, like, when we have the Cup Series and everything.
The Brownie Racing League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go back on the channel, folks, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I've got all archived. Brownie Racing League used to run in, and you'll see what we're talking about when it comes to Nathan Brown, because he actually was the one who ran that league. And some of the names that they came up with, some of the races and so forth. So, yeah, it was interesting. You know what? Borderline on that 13, we call it, to the next era. But that's a massive amount of pit stops here while we're talking, Caleb.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, we got back with a Ghost. It looks like the top 13 if you have to make a pit stop. So you go back to 14th place spot. Ghost is the first one out there on it, but Got a couple of them who coming back out on pit road. Ross Tatum, Dyer, Sherwood, Kelly, Pursley, Gerber, and whatnot. And a lot of guys who are now on pit road, which would be like Trask, Mullis, Curtis, Brown, which we was talking about there, Stevens and company. So it actually leaves, let me see if we can break this down for you. The top 13 have yet to pit. I think it might benefit them the longer they wait, which, I don't know. We are 20 laps to go. You've got that, I've always brought this up too, that fine line. Do you have enough time if you lose the lead to be able to make it back up? You don't want to run yourself out of time.
The way I'm looking at it now, every time we see all these pit stops or someone start the trend of pit stops, something happens on the racetrack. So if I'm 24, I'm kind of thinking, well, the trend of the race is somebody pits, somebody wrecks.
Well, he has one. Let's see the gap between them. It's a 40 some second gap between Haynes and Parker, which was the first one who made a pit stop and just came off. At 40 some seconds, it's 39 seconds now. He's going to lose the lead no matter what, because it takes roughly around 50 seconds, 51 seconds total pit time, folks. Don't take 50. Total pit time, that means from getting into pit road, doing your pit stop, and then getting off. So he's going to quite a bit. That's a 10-second gap. He's not. And then I'm going to go back to this here. He's not making 10 seconds up with less than 20 laps to go. Not at this track.
No, and I think here he comes now.
Yeah, he's on pit road, so I think he's going to need help with a caution in order to come in. We want to see it go green, but I think at this point right now, I think Collins is sitting in the catbird seat once all these guys make their pit stop, because he has a 1.5 second lead over Ross Tatum, which would be right behind him. And what we've seen all night long is once you get that lead out front, unless you just overdrive or do something crazy, usually you can maintain that lead. Here, put Scott Simley out front. And again, this is all going on for as long as we don't caution. Update where Altus. Actually, Joshua has not made a pit stop, so never mind. He's going to be marred back in the back.
So I guess
blinking problem still too. It might be something. Hang on.
Yeah, and oh wow, sideways coming on pit road there. Kind of seen him
right there with Clark and Bell.
Yeah, I had seen the first car or first truck kind of get sideways coming up the corner. Happy they didn't wreck. But yeah, no, that was I just seen it before.
Quiet night for this man too.
Yeah, I mean, look, he won last week. He's
not been dominant here tonight. Maybe this is not one of the tracks that he's a feel. We didn't race last season, did we?
I think the last time we raced Indy was the championship race a few seasons ago.
And I don't think Lane was in that one. So that really seemed, what I'm trying to get at is I don't think I've seen Lane run this track. So it might be just one of these tracks that, I want to forget about. He's Emily on pit road now. That'll be our leader. That'll hand it over to Joshua Altus right for the moment. And then once he pits, it'll cycle around there to Parker Collins, which I was talking about before, who was the first one who pitted, who still now has a 1.7 second lead over Jacob Grant, who has moved up there in the Mini Brands machine in the second place. Who would be in the second place spot. He's in fourth place right now. Matthew Dyer up there in the fifth place, and then Ross Tatum unfortunately falling back into the sixth. Sherwood there in seventh, Kelly up in the eighth, Ghost in ninth, Haynes there in 10th. As you can start seeing them now, work their way up to the front. It'll be all dependent on when does Altus come in. He pitted at lap 38. He did put 4 tires on. But how long can he go? I don't think he can go the distance. Can he? Can he go another 16 laps?
No, if he can, that's because there's a second fuel tank in that truck.
32 laps he'd have to go.
I mean,
Ugh,
you know, he
actually
might.
more than that. My bad.
I mean, he might. Like I said, I don't know the fuel numbers. That just seems like
36
a
laps. He'd
lot.
almost have to go like 36 laps or so. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a
more than half
lot.
the. Yeah.
I'm curious. Could he do it? I mean, at some point, here's the thing, though, Joshua. At some point, I mean, right now, Altus knows if he pits, he loses a race. There's no winning this race where he's at, unless a caution flag. So at some point, especially with 15 to go, you either say, okay, I mean, he does have a 23-second lead. He could stay if he's, I don't know, 2 laps shy or something. And he save enough fuel to make it.
It is. It is so hard saving fuel, especially on a track like this. The only place you can really save, I mean,
Post in the turns. Get about the lane. Let's ride along with him. Let's see if maybe he was clutching. This will be the telltale sign here. Let's see if he is. Maybe just he could clutch in the turns. He could letting out a lot early. He's going to turn right here. I think it's kind of normal there.
he shifted because you seen the needle bobble. Yep. Okay. So he did it again.
Not shifting. Not shifting.
You sure?
Oh, he's coming in. Oh, okay. So, well, it takes away what we were talking about. You know, anything we was talking about. I mean, maybe the only thing that he could have been hoping on was that maybe the caution was going to fly. Because we know for a fact once he comes on pit road, he's giving up the lead. He's going to have to take 4 tires of fuel, so it's going to put him running way back in traffic. And just not enough time to come back to the field. And I know a lot of people, you know, they will, we mean Joe, man, he could come to. You just got to know this track, and we've talked about it all race long. Get Mark back there. No, you're going to need some help. And again, we've seen it. We talked about it here, Caleb. We've not seen anybody just come flying through the field. It's so even, so momentum. And right now, we've got Collins out front, who has a 1.2 second lead over Jacob. And remember, that was only like a 1.5, 1.6. So you can just see how long it has taken Jacob just to knock off what? Maybe 3 or 4, maybe 4/10 or so on the lead of Collins. So for him to knock off another 1.3 seconds, if it takes him that long, he's just going to run out of time with 12 laps to go.
Yeah, and you know, once he gets to 8/10, 7/10, that's when you really start feeling the drag. That's when you really start feeling the effects of it. And
Kate, let
so
out answer my question, please.
And you know, once he gets to that point, he's really going to start, you know, getting closer and closer to the 87 of Collins. But you know, he's going to have to push, and you can see it right there, sideways coming up.
Still 1.3 seconds. He's holding that, maintaining it, and that's the more laps that wind off, the more that. I look at numbers. Now, I'm not a mathematician up here, Caleb, by no means. But I've done enough of the races that I can sit and look and go what it takes to catch a guy and what it takes to pass it, just cleanly pass a person, just run right by him. I'm not saying side by side, take a lap or so. And right now, by just what you're seeing, the last lap, a 54.5 to a 54.6 to a 54.59. That is not enough time with a 1.2 second lead to run him down. He needs half seconds, 3/4 of a second, or a mistake by Collins. Obviously, would definitely get that going.
Yeah.
But you know that too. You've raced a long time to know what it takes. Yes, is Jacob faster? Absolutely. And people will say, well, if he's faster, he'll catch him. Yeah, if we had another 100 laps, he'd catch him. But not with what? 8 to go?
10 to go.
Nah.
Oh, yeah. So the thing I'm looking at is, and you know, you hear it all the time from like the drivers and everything. the easiest part is catching him. Now he's got to
Yes.
pass him if he does catch him.
Catching and passing, two
Um,
different things. Yep.
so yeah, you could do, some of the things we've kind of seen in this race, just drive through
Jacob
him.
lost a lot
Or
right there. And what he did that time, Jacob actually lost about 3/10. Back
Yeah,
1.4 seconds now. Wow. Must be pushing hard.
yeah, and I mean, you can kind of see it. He's not using all the track he could be, which is kind of,
Tires could
I
be
would,
going away.
yeah. I mean, you see the way he's driving off the corner. You see the way the back end of the truck. When you're over driving the truck, you really rely on the right rear tire, and once the right rear tire starts to go, you can really feel it because you start to lose control of what you were leaning on, and it's like driving on ice. You you went from driving on this tacky road where you had all the grip. Now you've leaned on it so much, it's just
Hey, don't
slick.
gravel.
Yeah, and now you're just spinning your tire and you're just sliding up the track. So, and these guys are very talented at what they do. Obviously, they're racing for the lead. But yeah, once you overdrive it so much, you just start kind of losing the feel of what you were leaning on. Especially on the tracks where you run the high line. The tracks where you run the high line, that right rear. It, if you've ever watched a real NASCAR race or anything where they're slapping the right rear against the wall, I mean that pretty much tells you it right there. But just how they're sliding it off the corner here. I'm surprised
right
we
there.
haven't seen more wrecks. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more wrecks, honestly.
You're driving right there. You see Haynes. He's man coming up 15 spots up, leading the 6th place spot, trying to work it. Goes for 5th. It's Collins out front though, and Collins got the fan club man came about out there. What's up, Jack? Kaylee and company. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been a good one here tonight. Indianapolis here for the Clean Racing League here. Got our sponsors on board. And Haynes says, you know what? I'm going to slide job this thing around Goes and see if I can't get that spot from him. Is he going to take over the 5th place for right now? Yes, he does. He gets it. Mike Kelly right there behind him. He's going to see if he can't pull it up. You see Sherwood back there in the mix too. Grant, though, trying everything he can, but he is losing ground big time. He's back 2.3 seconds, so he is losing. He needs to watch it. Actually, Dyer back here. You see Tatum actually might try to sneak up here and take that 3rd place spot away from Dyer. As we move on back, we said to Sherwood's back in 8. Kenny, been quiet all night long, but he's back up here in the 9th place. Scott Simley, up 12 spots. He's been on the move it up here. He's in the top 10. And Jeremy Moore, you're back there in 11th. Jamie Horn, unfortunately, falling back in the 12th. And you've got Curtis, Bale, Anderson, Honeycutt. We talk about Altus, who was the first one to lap down, unfortunately, way back in 28th spot. So the pit strategy not paying off too well for him right there. But it's this man here. He had the pit strategy, Caleb Collins. All he's got to do is keep it straight, keep it in the lines, and it looks like he's on his way to putting in victory lane.
Yeah, and everything has formed perfectly for the 87 of Collins, and I think he will be our 7th different winner this season.
Nice.
All right, let me just go ahead and check that real quick, make sure I'm right.
Doing that, we got Dyer right here along with Tatum. Tatum's trying to see if he can't close in, as they're actually if Grant keeps doing. I mean, it's a little bit of gap between them. It would take a really mess up by Grant, I believe, before they would be able to close in. But the real picture's right here. Tatum, he's got a shot to take 3rd place.
Yeah, and so one of the things I was going to say, when you start losing all that ground, like Jacob Grant's losing to 1st place, he's falling back to 3rd and 4th. So as a driver, you kind of have to mentally flip a switch to where, okay, you were going, on the offensive. Now you have to go on defense. First is so far out, you have no chance of catching him. But now you have to swap the way you were driving. So now instead of pushing to try to catch 1st, he's settling in, and I guess he's just trying to hold 2nd. this is something, you have to race differently for what you're racing for. And you see all these drivers do it week in, week out. But, we're coming down to the final laps here, Joe.
Laps. It's all Collins out front leading it right now here at Indy. At about 5 to go here. This track is kind of a big style track, so it takes them a little bit to get around 5 laps at this place. But you got Grant has fallen off the pace huge, 3.8 seconds, but Dyer moving back a little bit. He's got Tatum right there on his back door. We got Haynes back here moving it up in the 5th. Kelly's still holding on right there in the 6th. Ghost still having a pretty good run here tonight. Might be down just a little bit, but he's still there in the 7th. Sherwood holding on to the 8th. We got O'Kenny quiet night, but he's right there in 9th. Assembly been able to bring it up 12 spots there, and it rounds out the top 10. So had some good movers tonight. We had some guys that it's not have very good. One of them being Altus just tonight. He won't. Justin Carey get involved in an incident early on. Persley there also. It was along with some guys who were having a great night. Collins, one of them here, and some guys not so. I just want to get about.
Yeah, and like you were saying with Altus, yeah, it sucks, but you're still going to the playoffs, and he was dominant early in the race, but as these races, 75 laps in Indianapolis, I mean that's a long time. You think of the other races here. I think Cup runs 160 here. Indy 500 is obviously 200 laps. So 75 laps is a lot of time here. So, I mean, that's a lot of time for the race to kind of mold itself into what it's become. And obviously it's fallen right into the hands of the 87 Collins.
Got about a second lead out there. Appreciate everybody. So the Collins gang, they all show up here. Parker out front. You just got to hang on to it for a few more laps. Don't want to get overhyped here because anything can happen. We've seen some wild stuff. Jacob Graham hanging on the second, but he just kind of single file for the moment. Go way back here, around about 20th place spot. You still see because the field's kind of spread out due to the green flag pit stops that we had earlier. But this man had the pit stop tonight. He's up 12 spots, so started back around about 12th, 13th place tonight. And has moved himself and put himself in a position to put it in victory lane.
Cool. Grant sideways.
I think he's cooked them tires and keeps that up a couple more times. He's got a Dyer in him on his back door.
Yeah, just calm down. Final lap. Just, or 2 laps to go. He's just gotta, stay calm.
Yeah. So does Dyer. He's going to kind of keep it on too right there. He's got actually Tatum on his back. No, look at Tatum come off the turn. Man, you talked about sideways earlier there, Caleb. That was about sideways. White flag one more time.
Yeah, and they're within striking range with another mistake from Grant. But the 87 just you can't even see him in this picture. He's gone.
Just see it. Got a big lead over these guys here. Is Parker Collins right now with a 5.6 second lead. White flag is out for him. He's only had a couple more turns to go. And he's going to put this thing in victory lane, punch himself a ticket to the playoffs too, along with it. As he heads out of turn 4, final time, it will be that man, Parker Collins, winning it here tonight for the Clean Racing League. Here at Indy, comes and scoots across the line, and we're going to see what Jacob's going to come across in 3rd, and Dyer's going to be able to hold on to the 3rd place spot. Man, what a finish to this one.
Yeah, and what we kind of
pushed it really, really hard getting on pit road and almost got a speeding penalty. I actually clipped the inside wall, or slid into it, I should say, from braking so hard. But I closed a second on Parker doing that and coming.
Pit strategy, good night for you. How was you feeling though? Was those laps was winding down?
Man, I was nervous. That front stretch coming to the right, I definitely held my breath. But that was a lot of fun. I love this track. Just can't can't thank my team enough. Only Dads for everything they've done for me. Everybody at Tiny Dog Racing. Yeah, it was just super fun. Didn't hit it right in qualifying, but just kind of worked way up through the field and was able to save enough tire throughout the runs to kind of catch everybody in the long run. I feel like that's really been our strength all season, is the long run, and yeah, that was a blast. I'm really glad to have been able to pull it off.
Punch yourself into the playoffs too. That's something, man. Think about going down the road here for the rest of the season. Look at that fan club out there. See hey, Kaylee out there, man, had to jump it up and down. She's happy for you. And yeah, I just gotta say, this track. Now, did you feel like tire wear was an issue here? Because it looked like Caleb was up here talking about the rear ends on these trucks were just getting kind of wild there sometimes.
Yeah, tire wear was pretty big. Definitely on the long run, the right rear would just go away and you just get real sideways off the corner. I was kind of really going easy on that last run just because I had a big enough gap I could, and I knew if we got a green light checkered or something late race that it was just going to be chaos. I mean, nobody really had any tires left, but I know I'd pitted a lap or two before some other guys, so yeah, tire wear was huge, but like I said, long run speed's really been our strength all season, so it worked out in our favor.
Absolutely, it did. You got that victory, got it put in here tonight. You got anybody you want to thank for it?
Just everybody at Only Dads and Tiny Dog Racing for everything they do for me. Shout out to my wife upstairs and all my family watching.
There you go, the man putting in the victory lane. That's Parker Collins tonight. Caleb, man, was a good race here at Indy tonight for the Clean Racing League. We had some, excitement, a little caution here and there, some fuel strategy out front, but some, all in all, great racing throughout the field.
Just kind of the breakaways. We were expecting, especially on a large track like Indianapolis. But Parker Collins bringing it home, first win of the season for him. He thanking Only Dads. I believe it's their first win of the season as well. So him locking himself into the playoffs, that's big. But we'll carry on to next week and see what next week has to bring.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to leave Indy here tonight for the Clean Racing League. It was a good one there. Parker Collins put it in victory lane. But for myself and everyone, have a good night.